Education is a reciprocal relationship.
Are we ready to get started?
You need to get to know the person, realize their strengths and their areas of growth, and help them through that.
It has a shell for a head.
And the reciprocal process is you then understand yourself. Brookline Education Foundation is focused on one thing: to provide funding for public school Brookline educators to pursue professional development, renewal, creativity, and innovation. That is our sole focus.
Tentacle arms. I wanted to have a little bit like an octopus.
I was so lucky to have received the teacher grant, and I got to go to Mexico City. I think there are probably hundreds of museums just in the city there. Lots of art. I got to think a lot about my students and the types of things that I think they would find interesting. Today we're working on a project called Alebrije sculptures. They are originally from an artist named Pedro Linares Lopez. They are fantastical creatures of different animals that kind of morph together.
I'm gonna have starfish, just gonna make it like a helicopter.
And just rest it like this.
I think a really important part of art is you have to be able to feel safe in order to be vulnerable and make a mistake.
I'm changing my ideas.
I like to be really honest with my students. I like to show them this was a really challenging part of my trip. I got really lost at this part, so the kids cannot be afraid to make a mistake.
That aha moment. I know what I'm asking you to do is hard, and now I know how to help you get there. That is the power of professional development.
As a faculty, we've done a lot of work around building the most open and inclusive spaces possible for our students. Throughout the entire school year, we fly a Progress Pride flag on our flagpole beneath the American flag. This year, myself, my grade 3 through 8 guidance counselor, Dave Chayet, and my middle school 6-7 ELA teacher, Sarah O'Shea, received a collaborative grant and will be going to an LGBTQ national conference in Las Vegas in April, where we'll learn about the most pressing issues facing the LGBTQ community in schools, and we'll be learning how to respond to them to create the most inclusive spaces possible.
This is my first full year at Brookline High School, and I'm coming in from a public library where I was a teen librarian. I luckily have some wonderful library volunteers, so kind of brainstorming with them, the student advisory board came together.
We had this idea that we were going to do a reading challenge. A lot of people spend time in the library, but they don't actually read anything. So we applied for the grant, and Brookline Education Foundation gave us money. The students will read a book, and once you finish the book and bring it to us, you get one entry into the raffle. And we have $1,500 for prizes and a party at the end of the year.
The party at the end of the year is supposed to be an opportunity for everybody who's read and participated to come, and if you see someone else at the party, you're like, hey, what book did you read?
Kids are going to hear other voices and other perspectives, and that I find compelling and transformative.
When it comes to creating safe spaces for our kids, that's adult work, so that the kids can find their path and just simply show up and feel that they are getting what they deserve. When I walk around the school, it is the rare group of kids that hasn't been impacted by a BEF grant.
The BEF gives opportunities to educators that we wouldn't have otherwise.
Thank goodness that we have those resources available to us.
Brookline Education Foundation is your way of reaching in and continuing to support the building and strengthening and sustaining of community.